Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Patreon-sponsored review time again. The slots for Patreon-sponsored reviews were removed for a good chunk of the 10th anniversary, but I reopened them last September so people can once again request stuff. Assuming you can get the slots in the nanosecond they were open before someone snipes them. Just FYI, they will once again temporarily close in a few months. Most Patreon review requests are made 3 to 6 months in advance, and we're gonna get to a point where those requests will get in the way of Halloween, Secret Origins Month, and Christmas, which are firmly locked into stuff I want to talk about. They'll reopen again when I start scheduling for January of next year, and we'll see how long this system lasts. Things are a bit in flux right now, which is why requests like today's review may not be a thing in the future. Why? Because YouTube. In case you missed the posts on my website or the general update videos I've put out about certain retrospective shows I make, or just me continually whining about it on Twitter, YouTube has altered how Content ID detects copyrighted footage and music. It used to be 10 to 15 seconds was okay. Now it's about 7 seconds. Any footage or music longer than that and someone will claim the video and take the money from it. Or block it in pretty much every country on Earth. And since this is, my job, I kind of need the ad revenue. Before anyone asks, yes, I know other platforms exist. The platform is not the problem. I have a Vimeo where I am hosting several other videos which I have not yet re-edited for YouTube, as well as digital versions of these DVDs in case you don't want physical media, plus it's cheaper. Yeah, I'm shilling. I just told you how other companies are taking the money that I've earned. But yeah, I put in the time investment on reviews like today's and feel like I deserve to get paid. And since YouTube is really the only game in town where it is possible to make money off of videos, well, here we are again. So we're gonna have to see if Content ID affects future Patreon sponsorships. If it becomes completely untenable for me to review movies and TV shows on the channel, well, sorry, there you go. You may only be able to request comics in the future. You'd think that'd be a given for the comic book review show, but sadly, as the comic book review guy, I have to keep reminding myself, nobody reads comic books. So, anyway, today I'm not reviewing a comic book. Phineas and Ferb was a Disney cartoon that ran from 2009 to 2015 with 4 seasons and 133 episodes. Which, by the way, I always operated under the presumption that a season was made and released over the course of a television season, as in only 1 year. You can imagine my confusion when I learned that season 4 was released over the course of 2.5 years.
Space is warped and time is bendable.
The plot centers around the 2 title characters and their attempts at entertaining themselves over the course of a single summer, and shenanigans ensue. Phineas's older sister, Candace, also gets involved to try to disrupt said shenanigans, and also there is a platypus who is a secret agent trying to stop a mad scientist. If you expect me to be shocked by that detail, last week I reviewed a comic where Batman fought xenomorphs, and last year a comic where the Kool-Aid Man traveled back in time to the Revolutionary War. This is nothing. I will say I do love the name of the organization Perry said platypus works for. OWCA, short for Organization Without a Cool Acronym, because I have grown so weary of organizations that exist simply because someone wanted to use a stupid acronym. This special was made as a sort of crossover with the Ultimate Spider-Man and Avengers Assemble cartoons, given the art styles and the voice actors from those shows reprising their roles in it. For whatever reason, this was the first animated crossover between Disney and Marvel products after Disney bought Marvel in 2009, which is just weird. Like, they waited 4 years for this to be it? You'd think somewhere in between there we'd have, like, a Kingdom Hearts style adventure where Marvel heroes team up with Mickey and Donald to fight Dr. Doom or something. I have never watched Phineas and Ferb. I hear it's good, but my only real exposure I've had to it was that Gitchy Gitchy Goo song, which admittedly is very catchy. There are a lot of shows I've never watched and I've had zero interest in ever watching, and quite a bit of it is kids content. So this may be the most amazing crossover ever, but I'm walking into this blind. So please be a little forgiving if there's stuff in here I get wrong in regards to the continuity of the rest of the series, or something that was answered previously in the show. So let's dig into Phineas and Ferb, Mission Marvel, and see just how long people are able to view this episode.
evil buddies and me. Me and my evil friends.
We open with the logo of the special rising out of the ground while Phineas and Ferb play guitar.
Mount Pinatubo erupted yesterday, spewing movie credits all over the southern hemisphere.
Anyway, foregoing an opening theme song or the like, we truly begin with Phineas surfboarding through space on some kind of rocket sled. Ah, the bygone days of summer vacation when we used to surf through outer space. Kids today just don't appreciate what we used to have. Part of the show was that there were a ton of original songs for it, and thus we have a 50s surfer song about, well, surfing through space.
Grab a spaceport and catch a wave. The asteroid ocean is quite a rave.
There are a few things you should avoid. Uh-oh, there's a micrometeoroid, no air left.
Take my hand, we're gonna rock and roll past a little red orb and a big black hole.
Oops, you got too close, now you have been compressed. Your body exists now just as a small speck. Why is it that this is the second time a Patreon request for something I don't usually cover features rock and roll in space? Is Alan from Thunderbirds Are Go dreaming this too? Are we gonna have a random cutaway to Parker asleep in a car? Anyway, our heroes and their friends return to a space station shaped like Phineas's head, which is usually the kind of thing a supervillain would do. And they decide to head back to Earth with their fun over. Because they're kids, and I guess even space becomes boring after a while. Meanwhile, Perry the Platypus is dealing with the previously mentioned mad scientist, Dr. Doofenshmirtz, at his helpfully labeled evil headquarters. Although that's a bit redundant, since it's a corporation. We already know it's evil. Doofenshmirtz kinda looks like Rick from Rick and Morty, but with a better haircut. The good doctor's evil plan this week involves his brother, who happens to be the mayor. Being the mayor grants him special powers, and thus Doofenshmirtz has invented a device to drain those powers away.
Stand back. I have powers. Political powers.
Just think, I will have the power to raise taxes, pass legislation, and even cut the ceremonial ribbon at openings.
Probably would do a better job than the current administration. Doofenshmirtz accidentally sets Perry free, allowing him to destroy the device with a single kick, and then leave.
And what, you're just gonna thwart and run? I thought this was going to be a special extended episode.
Yeah, but it turns out the fees to bring in the Marvel guys put us way over budget. This is all we could afford. The device, still partially functional, fires into space and into one of the satellite dishes of Phineas's space station before shooting back down again towards New York. After a Stan Lee cameo as a hot dog vendor, we see Spider-Man joining up with some of the Avengers as they take on Venom, Whiplash, MODOK, and the Red Skull.
That thing's firing antimatter blasts. It's gonna pack a big punch.
I pack a bigger punch.
So, when matter and antimatter collide, it's supposed to destroy both and release a huge explosion. I'm beginning to think that calling it antimatter blasts is really just a marketing thing, saying like, our cannon is so strong, it's like antimatter. Still, they managed to defeat the villains and the easily punchable cannon. Man, as if the New York harbor needed any more pollution in it. Before Spidey can web them up, the beam from the device strikes down at them and drains them of their powers. Spidey can't stick to walls, Thor can't throw Mjolnir very far, the Hulk doesn't have super strength, and the power in Iron Man's suit goes out. Oh no! If only Tony Stark had, like, another battery! As the kids return to Earth, Candace tries to reveal the kids' activities to her mom without success.
Why aren't you in space? We got hungry.
So they built a huge, elaborate space station, but didn't include a mini-fridge? The Avengers have gone to the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier to investigate why their powers have gone. Nick Fury tells them about the beam that came from Danville, the city Phineas and Ferb call home, further explaining that the satellite belongs to Phineas.
It's theirs.
Man, that kid's got a weird-shaped head.
I agree. Does Phineas even have a nose? Or is, like, his entire head the nose? Doofenshmirtz learns about the beam hitting the four heroes thanks to a news report.
We now return you to Horse in a Bookcase, already in progress.
Ugh, that show jumped the shark after the horse moved into a china cabinet. Just wasn't the same afterwards. Happy about this news, Doofenshmirtz blogs about his success and brags about draining the heroes' powers, but is informed by his robot assistant that he doesn't actually have the powers and should probably post a retraction.
I'm not gonna change it. Everyone exaggerates on the internet.
What? That's ridiculous. As the most popular YouTuber on the internet, I think I would know if that were the case. At the Red Skull's castle, because of course he has an evil castle, the group of villains wonder what happened to the heroes' powers.
I MODOK have interfaced with all of the digital information stored on the vast network of the World Wide Web?
And the answer appears to be Cap and Bucky /fiction or bigoted harassment campaigns. And cats. Lots of cats. They learn about Doofenshmirtz being responsible for it and head to Danville to see him. After arriving, they introduce themselves and demand to see his devices. He shows off his latest, the Slothinator, which allows him to gain the powers of a sloth, like slowness and eating leaves.
And he must be toying with us, playing us for fools. He is even more diabolical than we thought.
Damn right he is. Just imagine how lazy you can be with those powers. Truly, he has conquered the spirit of summer vacation. The heroes go talk to Phineas, Ferb, and their friends about the situation.
Juice in a box? We have nothing like this in Asgard.
Then I think I have to revoke your status as gods. While they investigate, Perry the Platypus's boss, Major Monogram, contacts him along with Nick Fury, who's a little surprised that the agent is a platypus.
Does he have some kind of robotic platypus exoskeleton?
He has a fedora.
I mean, I'd say that's a power right there. There's a reason why this thing has stuck around through 2 costume changes. And wait, check it out in the background. He does have some kind of cybernetic platypus exoskeleton. Anyway, Nick Fury wants Perry to monitor the situation with the heroes and figure out what the villains are up to. One would think that S.H.I.E.L.D. would have its own agents to deal with this, but hey, I'm not in charge of a massive worldwide secret organization or something. After Doofenshmirtz shows off his other various devices, like one that turns oatmeal into porridge, they demand to see his device that drained the heroes' powers. He explains how it was destroyed, and they want him to rebuild it, allowing him to think he's in charge of all this. Although first he has to run some errands.
Is your head gonna burst into flames, or am I thinking of somebody else?
No. You're thinking of that guy from Youngblood. Back with our heroes, they're showing off their base, camouflaged via TARDIS chameleon circuit. No, seriously, they say it's based on British science fiction technology, because I guess Ferb is British? Then again, I've noticed he doesn't actually talk much. Anyway, apparently Doofenshmirtz's errands actually consisted of him just being a casual dick to people in the streets, and I kind of think that's amazing. Extra point for the ring and runner routine. That's classic.
We're the jerks who stole all those wieners from that guy. My evil buddies and I.
You know, if Stan Lee was gonna turn out to be Uatu in the MCU, you know he would have broken his non-interference code to get revenge for that. Our heroes whip up a machine that will temporarily restore their powers, but Candace, overeager to get things going, hits the start button before it's entirely ready. When it's done, it seems like their powers have been restored, more or less.
Something is not right.
I know, right? How is your helmet staying on like that? With the swapped powers, there is some improvement, but not enough. For instance, Iron Man got Thor's powers, so he can move, but he can't wield the hammer, fly, or use lightning. So basically, he has Thor's power of normal mobility. They soon receive grim news on TV.
Disaster in Danville. Horse in a bookcase is cancelled.
Good! It had its time. The villains, sick of their fun time, decide to just wreck them all to try to force the heroes to show up. They head out on their way, Phineas and Ferb joining in the fight thanks to a power suit they've partially completed. The problem is it's not waterproof. That's not a joke, at least not one made by me. That's the reason. Honestly, I'm just confused how they built everything else, but waterproofing the thing has eluded their spare time. The heroes fight valiantly, but they're unused to their swapped powers, and some water disables Phineas and Ferb, and the villains have them backed into a corner. This ends part 1 of the actual episode portion, and brings us to part 2.
When last we left our handsome heroes, their fate hung in the balance in a cataclysmic cliffhanger.
Why is the hot dog vendor narrating? Red Skull monologues for a moment about their victory, but the heroes are saved by the arrival of Perry the Platypus on a friggin' hoverboard while wearing a superhero outfit. I feel like he should always be dressed like that for missions. It's a pretty strong hoverboard too, since it carries all of them away on ropes and drops them off back at the house and then flies off.
You think that was Howard the Duck?
Oh please, Howard's not a superhero. Clearly it was Darkwing Duck. The rest of their friends, plus Candace, have been trying to rebuild the machine to get things back to normal, but once again, Candace accidentally causes the device to activate early. And dead. Nah, the kid, Baljeet, just hulks out and smashes the machine. Phineas berates Candace for her once again screwing them over and kicks her out. Sad for her, since she's an enormous fangirl for them. Buford, one of their other friends, heads out after the newly hulked Baljeet, while Perry the Platypus gets intel about the villains meeting up at Doofenshmirtz's lab. He witnesses the good doctor finishing a new power-draining device before the others turn on him, locking him in a cage.
We had a song and everything.
Your little musical interlude was a pleasant diversion at best.
Hey, it filled some airtime and led to some funny gags. That's at least a very pleasant diversion. The Red Skull explains that the plan is to destroy the tri-state area as a sign of how serious they are, then drain away the powers of any heroes that try to stop them. He also spots Perry and has him captured in another cage. Meanwhile, Candace and their other friend, Isabella, lament how they're unable to help.
None of the women superheroes showed up, so it's all about testosterone and towers and fighting.
That's a good point. Where are the superheroines? Hell, let's expand that. Where are any other superheroes? After a song and a failed attempt by Buford to stop Baljeet, the villains announce their plan and explain that they've modified the power-draining device so that it pretty much just absorbs everything, as demonstrated yet again on poor Stan Lee's hot dog stand. He really needs to stop setting up shop so close to the villains. The four heroes decide to go confront the villains despite the lack of powers, leaving Phineas and Ferb to try to get their suit back up and running. Candace comes in to apologize, which is a nice sentiment, but the two have to leave despite the suit being complete, since the heroes have been quickly recaptured by the villains. Perry the Platypus escapes thanks to bolt cutters stored in his utility belt, because I guess everybody has Time Lord technology, and goes to aid the heroes, along with Baljeet, Phineas and Ferb, and even Doofenshmirtz, armed with a gun that shoots waffles, which I'm pretty sure he stole from Invader Zim. Candace wonders where the energy that was taken from the heroes went, and Isabella realizes it must have gone to the space station, so they head on up and try to figure out how to send it down to the heroes. Said heroes are engaged in a struggle with the villains over the power core of the device, leading to amusing fights and chases. On the station, Candace thinks a big red button is the way to release the powers, figuring that third time's the charm on her helping out, and presses it. And the button disables gravity, power, their orbital control, and unfriends everyone from their social media. Why would you have a button that did all that? And even if you needed it, maybe a safety cover on it or something? The villains manage to retrieve the power core.
Behold the destruction of the entire tri-state!
And 4 more bodies to Candace's murder count. The villains, of course, survived an attack, but they're able to restore the heroes' powers. With Perry at their side, and an Avengers Heroes spin shot, they're able to quickly defeat the villains. Candace and Phineas make up, the villains are taken by S.H.I.E.L.D., and Doofenshmirtz accidentally disintegrates the crashed satellite head before Phineas's mom can spot it. And so the special ends with a misdirect by Perry the Platypus before the kids can find out it was him, though why he ditches the gear in a garbage can eludes me. Keep that stuff, it's cool. I cannot undersell this. This is surprisingly good. Like, it's not the kind of thing that'd make me laugh until it hurts, but it is really funny. I cannot stress that enough. There are a lot of gags that I did not mention in this simply because there comes a point where I have nothing to comment or riff on, and I'd just be playing the episode. One thing that took me by surprise is how fast-paced it is. It is not so fast that it's irritating, but that scenes exist just long enough to get in, tell their jokes, and move on. The only things that last longer are the songs and fight scenes, but even those are pretty quick and more about the gags, with the exception of the girls' lament song about wanting to help. That one felt a little cheap because most of it was reusing footage from earlier as a flashback during it. I know gags probably wouldn't have been appropriate during a sad song, but it felt more like an attempt to save money rather than an artistic decision. Overall, though, it is legitimately funny, and while I'll poke fun at some things like the satellite or Iron Man's powers, it truly is just a goofy, enjoyable humor series, and the episode was a great example of it in my opinion. Just good stuff. Next time, another Patreon-sponsored review. And of another 2 animated episodes, as we visit some of the Pokemon anime.
That comic books
I'm going to proceed as if this were going really well.